Hi guys, Thelonious here. In this video I'm going to review some clips from a subscriber. He asked me for some coaching and feedback on a few clips in AoE and single target situations. So yeah, I think it might also be helpful for other people. So let's have a look together. If you're interested in some coaching, just let me know in the comments and we can set something up. I'm happy to help in any way. Alright, let's have a look at the AoE video that you've sent in. Before I want to move into the rotation itself, I want to look at two things in your interface. First is the plater profiles that you're using. I think the plater profile is quite difficult to see what's going on with the targets. In particular, the mark of the crane stacks on the target itself. So mark of the crane stack is something that you get by hitting your targets with Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick or Rising Sun Kick. And it increases your damage by 18% per stack. And you will see in the rotation that you have quite a hard time maintaining those stacks or even getting those stacks. And I think it's very important to have a good interface that helps you guide how many of those stacks you have. So if you compare the plater profile that you have, for example, to the one that I use, I think it's a lot easier for me to track what's going on with the targets. And if I use my abilities, as you can see, it's very easy to see which targets don't have that stack, and it's very easy for me to maintain those stacks and get those stacks. So this, I think, is one of the points that you should think of to maybe change your plater profile. The other one, this is a bit more personal preference, but your weak auras in combination with the normal Blizzard interface, I think might be a bit of an overkill. There's a lot of the same information in your interface. So you have all your main abilities like Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick here. And they are also in the bottom bar. What I'm using is a weak aura that only tracks my buffs. And then I just use normal Blizzard interface. So that's something that you can think of. But of course, this is a bit more personal preference and wouldn't necessarily increase your DPS or something. But those are the two things that I wanted to point out on your interface to maybe think of. If we look at the rotation itself, you actually start correct with Tiger Palm and Blackout Kick, but you move into your AoE cooldowns a little bit too early. So here you can see Blackout Kick, you do it twice, so Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and you still have 3 stacks of Mark of the Crane. So the reason for that is that what you're using is your Blackout Kick and your Tiger Palm on the same target. So you want to tap to the targets that don't have those Mark of the Crane stacks to potentially increase your damage by quite a lot. And hopefully your plater profile would probably help by tracking those. So after this you start bursting, so you still have those 3 stacks, which you're potentially missing out 36% damage on Spinning Crane Kick, so that's quite a lot of damage. So other than that, you move into a very simplistic rotation, which is correct, by using Blackout Kick, by using Strike of the Windlord, and then going into Spinning Crane Kick, Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane Kick. There is where you use a Tiger Palm, which I think might be a bit of a slip up, so it might be a small mistake. Know that you don't need to use that ability during Serenity, because you're not using Chi or Energy. On top of that, you can see that you're almost outside of your Serenity window. You unfortunately still do not have 5 stacks of Mark of the Crane, but you also want to start thinking about your Fist of Fury. So the last ability of your Serenity should preferably be Fist of Fury, because at that moment the full channel of your Fist of Fury maintains the buff from Serenity. So that is very helpful in your damage. Unfortunately, you miss out on that and you use your Fist of Fury very late, but that's something to think of. So you do get quite some procs of Dance of the Chi-Ji, and your DPS output is actually really good. So that's really nice, but this is really where you move out of Serenity. You really want to prioritize Fist of Fury here. So I think it's somewhere here that you use Fist of Fury, and unfortunately you also cancel out your Fist of Fury. That's a bit of a DPS loss, because you only want to clip or cancel your Fist of Fury inside Serenity, and you're not inside Serenity, you're outside of Serenity, so you should fully channel your Fist of Fury. So you wasted quite some damage there because it was a fully stacked transfer the power, so that's this talent. which you're tracking in the middle of your screen here. And you just channeled it out for half the duration, so you definitely missed out some damage there. Other than that, I think everything is completely fine. You still want to maintain those 5 stacks, unfortunately. So there's a few things I want to point out, and I think the most important one is your Mark of the Crane stack. So you want to tap between your targets to maintain those 5 stacks of Mark of the Crane. You missed out for quite a lot of damage. You got a lot of procs of Dance of the Chi-Ji, so that really increased your damage by quite a lot. But you wasted, you potentially wasted out some DPS. So that's definitely one. The second one is you don't have to use Tiger Palm in Serenity. I think it might be a mistake, but that's something to keep an eye on. And the third one is your Fist of Fury. You want to try to use that as the last ability in Serenity. And also outside of Serenity, you should prioritize Fist of Fury a little bit higher than what you're doing right now. And definitely not cancel out Fist of Fury outside of Serenity. So those are the things that you should look out for on the AoE side. Let's have a look at the single target rotation as well. Alright, let's have a look at the single target rotation. The video that you sent me is actually really good. In particular, your opener, you performed really well. You started with a Jade Firestomp and then into a Tiger Palm, and then you move into all your cooldowns and trying to use your Rising Sun Kick as much as possible. You're clipping your Fist of Fury, you're using your Strike of the Windlord on cooldown. So everything works out really well. Up until the end of Serenity, and outside of Serenity, then you start really making some crucial mistakes. So I'm just gonna start the clip and then we'll have a look at that. So again, you can see on the top left what kind of abilities you're using. You're using your Jade Firestomp, then into the normal rotation in your opener. Everything works out really well. Everything goes well up until this moment. So you have 2 seconds left and you're using Rising Sun Kick, which is a really good ability to use. But the ability afterwards, you see that you're using a Tiger Palm. So Tiger Palm is not the ability that you want to use in Serenity. And on top of that, you have full Chi and you don't need any Chi. So that would have been the perfect time to use your Fist of Fury. Again, the same sort of feedback is that you always want to use Fist of Fury as your last ability in Serenity. So you maintain the damage buffs from Serenity for your full channel of Fist of Fury. So in this case, unfortunately, you do Tiger Palm and now you use Fist of Fury. And then you cancel your Fist of Fury again. That's a big DPS loss that you just lost, and then you will see it out the full video, is that you're clipping your Fist of Fury outside of Serenity. Try to fully channel it outside of Serenity. You only clip Fist of Fury during Serenity. So your normal rotation, you just go into the priority list as is, which is all really good. Something that you are not using at all is Expel Harm. And you want to try to use Expel Harm almost on cooldown. It's not a hard-hitting ability, but it's almost like free Chi, because the energy it costs is only 15 and Tiger Palm costs 50 energy. So you see in a lot of situations that you're starved on Chi, you don't have any Chi to use, and this is really where Expel Harm could help you. So you use Expel Harm really to maintain a good management of your Chi in that matter. So this would be a perfect moment. Again, this is where you unfortunately clip your Fist of Fury at the last second. Bit of a DPS loss in there, but yeah, that's okay. Then we move on with your normal rotation. Everything is good. This is again a moment where you really want to use Expel Harm. You can see that you're really starved on Chi. And unfortunately, you're often sitting on Fist of Fury 10 full stacks. And again, you clip it. So that's a bit unfortunate in that matter. I will skip ahead a little bit at the end you see it as well in your damage overview. Of course, this is not the correct overview of a single target DPS because you actually were attacking 3 different targets. But you can see that Fist of Fury is only 5.8% of your total damage. And the reason for that is that you often, maybe you don't see that you have Fist of Fury up, and that you have 10 stacks of Transfer the Power. So that's a very hard hitting ability, even in single target. And you're also clipping it outside of Serenity. So you will see the DPS increase if you don't clip your Fist of Fury outside of Serenity. On top of that, you see that you're often a bit starved on Chi. And the reason for that is that you're not using Expel Harm. So those are the 2 things that you can improve in your single target. Your opener is amazing, it's perfectly executed. You just want to focus on ending Serenity with a Fist of Fury, fully channel Fist of Fury outside of Serenity, and start incorporating Expel Harm in that as last little tip. So this was a bit of the coaching session. Many thanks for your video in that matter. If there's people in the comments that also would like to get some coaching, let me know. Put it in the comments and I will try to contact you as soon as possible. Thanks everyone. Cheers.